Call the meeting to order today, Tuesday, August 3rd, and it is 1 p.m. This meeting is out of schedule, but we got some things that have arisen that I felt we should talk about. The minutes from...
Approve the agenda.
I got a question here before we get started.
Yeah.
Why are we here today? Nothing could wait till Thursday?
Well, I know I'm not going to be here Thursday.
Just because you're not there doesn't mean we can't have a meeting without you. So,
So there's some pressing issues that I
Like
felt
what?
we need. Well, we got a couple of correspondence from the lawyers. Want to talk about that?
I don't think that is not demanding that we be here today. We could have, Thursday, we could have dealt with that.
Okay.
This meeting, I got a call at my house. Didn't even know that there was a meeting. I come in last night from the doctors. Organization, I told you, you're a terrible manager, and this perfectly indicates it. When you can't, you should go through the office and make sure the commission is available. We know the meeting was supposed to be Thursday, and you moved it up without even talking to me. I mean, you can't talk to me. We're going through the office.
That's what
I know. I hung up on you last time you called my house directly.
Yeah.
So I have a problem with this meeting totally.
Okay.
Just because it got posted. This is the third meeting that this has happened. The annual meeting, let's go to that. I'll go right from there.
Mike,
I want to talk about
You're
some
off
stuff.
the agenda.
I'm not off the agenda. I'll tell you. Being
Go ahead.
transparent, you're not being transparent to the whole community. You had a meeting 2 weeks ago with the Water Asset Management Board. You went in and posted at 5:30 in the morning to have the meeting. No one even knew about it. You announced here that it had it. You're having the meeting the next day. This thing's the same thing as what you did. It's crazy. It's terrible what you're doing. You should resign as chairman. Point blank.
Sorry, not. Understood?
Hey, guess what? You're a terrible manager and a terrible...
Coming from you, that's a compliment. Thank you. Let's
You
move
want to
on.
know something? If you
Okay.
knew how to manage, we wouldn't be having this
I'll have a
conversation.
motion to approve the agenda. Do I have a second?
I'll second it.
Okay, all in favor, say aye.
Say approve,
I'm no.
Okay.
to approve agenda.
Do you want to change something on the agenda, Mike?
Yes.
Go
I
ahead.
want to go into non-public right now.
Do you have an agenda?
I make a motion.
I can give you one and
I'll give you
I
mine.
can look for 1 second.
Yeah, okay, this one.
I'm leaving 10 minutes. I want to go into non-public.
Under 91A,
Thank you.
colon, what do you have?
So you make it a motion.
Employee hiring.
Can we wait till after, because
I'm not going to be here. I'm leaving in 10 minutes. I have a commitment.
Okay.
That's the...
Well, that's one of the things on the agenda, so.
So we'll move it up and we'll deal with it right away.
To non-public, 91A.
Okay, a motion's been made to move it up to the top of the agenda, which means the people that came to this meeting will now be leaving.
We'll just be outside. All right. Right?
What's the
B,
Employee hiring.
hiring.
91A 322B? I'll second it.
Okay. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Yes.
Okay.
You say yes, 3-0.
Yeah, 3-0.
Okay, all right.
If the,
You want to be off?
yes, please.
The public session at
So we're back in public session.
1:20. Okay.
Minutes of the non-public are sealed. Okay? We're going to go right to Kelly for his DPW report. We got 8 Idlewise Drive, a revised driveway application.
That was just what the homeowner sent in. I haven't had a chance to reach out to
Okay.
the engineer yet.
Yep.
So I just wanted you to be aware that the homeowner sent in the revised.
Okay.
Okay.
So that's, if Kelly has any comments on that one.
Yeah, it's all wrong, so
Okay.
it's a lot of allegations being made that I don't
Yeah, I saw
appreciate.
that.
Okay, I didn't see that. So,
Yeah.
okay. Or I didn't read it.
It's all our fault. So we're gonna have a lot of pushback, which I welcome it.
Okay.
But Luckily, we have pictures of the pipe before, the pipe after, and everything he says is nonsense.
Clock is working against him
Yep.
because the fines will,
I would really push for an engineer to look at it and see, and it's a simple determination, it's not our fault, it's his fault. So,
oh, it's simple.
yeah.
He had an engineer send us a letter,
He
and all
said
of a
it-
sudden, I don't know where the engineer went. Mr. Burr sent us a letter representing him, am I correct?
No.
No, this is,
No.
Yeah,
Yes.
Oh,
Yeah,
his,
Philip
his,
Burke.
yeah.
okay.
oh yeah, I thought he was a,
No, he's an engineer.
yeah, that's what we're
Engineering
looking
firm.
for.
Yeah.
I want,
So-
I would like
Yes,
him
I
on
just
site.
haven't had the chance to
Okay.
send an email
Hey,
back to him, so that was from
So,
Thursday.
I thought the engineer was handling this going forward.
Yep,
He asked for the fines, we voted last meeting to hold the fines until
The 20th,
third week in
the 20th, yeah.
August. If he doesn't get it, then the fines are gonna be applied.
yeah,
I mean, if he wants, it's his money, so he can do what he wants.
yeah, he doesn't even say anything on his application.
Yeah.
Yeah. And we
Yeah.
knew, you told, I mean, the story, not the story, the request from them was never changed
Right.
from day one.
Yeah.
That we didn't ask for one thing and then change our minds, and it's always been a pretty simple request.
Yes, and we all know the story.
Okay, all right.
I would like to, can I say something? I'm leaving in a couple of minutes. I see a lot of emails about the water levels.
Oh, so we're off, is this not about Idlewild Drive?
No, he's done with that, isn't he?
Yeah, we just,
Oh, okay, all right,
it's on, in his court, as they say.
okay,
So you want to jump down to,
okay. All right.
to correspondence?
Yes.
Okay.
I don't understand. An attorney sent an email. The information is not correct in it. We had a resident come in here saying that her land was being flooded, and we were gonna get an inch of water that night. Inch of rain, excuse me. There was much discussion here about who's in charge of the dam. Kelly explained that the commissioners overstepped, the previous board of commissioners overstepped their boundaries and took the control out of his hands. But yet, the dam policy calls for him to be in charge. So, we talked about it. Kelly said he had to take the board out. Gloria was here. And then we get emails. Emergency was what the problem was. Her property had water on it. She had the assessor there. She came in and told us the assessor was there and couldn't even look at the property because it was flooded. And we get emails from people saying that we did the wrong thing. I can't understand somebody's thinking on this. On top of it, these emails, I don't understand. I just don't understand it. I don't understand what people are thinking.
So I remember the conversation and the way the current policy reads, and the policy was adopted a year and a half ago.
Policy was adopted this,
Well, it was finally signed.
so when it's signed, it's adopted, not when you vote on it.
And that would put Kelly in charge of following the policy to maintain pond levels. Am I correct?
It's not what it says in the sentence.
Do we have the policy?
Yeah, I got one right here.
Okay. Could you read it, Mike?
What do you want? I'm not reading the whole thing. What do you?
Second to last line.
Yeah, second to last, responsibility.
Second to last line.
It's about the DPW.
10, number 10.
My number 10's all crossed out.
Yeah, that's how the policy was going for a while there, a lot of crossing out and
You're looking at the proposed revised.
Pardon?
That's the
Looking at
proposed.
revised.
This is adopted 2021.
Right, but the markup
This-
on it is for the public hearing
Correct.
in August, to make the changes
The
that are,
okay, so the DPW has a final say in all dam-related actions. Okay?
That's all that says nothing about following policy, nothing about anything, but I have final say. I don't want this job. You guys know that.
Yeah,
I don't
we know
want
that.
it.
Yeah.
But it's in my hands because I have hands-on. The thing about this is, we had a meeting on Thursday. There was nothing in the agenda we were gonna speak about boards or dam or anything to do with water. And immediately following the meeting, we're getting emails blasted to us that we better not be doing this.
And
I don't-
who was sending emails?
We were getting, the first email came at 11:27. I think we just adjourned.
Yeah.
So it's so
So who
immediate.
was that email from?
That was from homeowner.
What homeowner?
I'm not getting in the names, but I saw the email.
all that.
There's three emails. Attorney,
When did that one?
Thursday at 12:19.
Yeah.
The attorney is representing I can't even say the name, John and Terry Catalacci, or whatever it is.
Cancelarich.
I'm sorry.
John and Terry.
Sorry about it.
I like it. I like it.
I like it.
So, I guess my question is, how did an attorney find out, and now Terry Warren sends one at 11:46?
That's John's wife, that's Terry Cancelarich.
So how are they finding out so quick when we just get out of the meeting?
But that's irrelevant, Mike.
No, it isn't.
It is.
If a commissioner is going back and calling, then there's a problem. I don't even know these people.
Can I ask, are your meetings public?
Yes.
And everything you say in this meeting is public knowledge,
Yes,
right?
absolutely, yeah.
So, Mike, everything's public knowledge.
I understand, but what I'm asking is who, I
Can,
believe
can anyone express what you guys expressed at a meeting? Because it's public knowledge. Can anyone say what the meeting was about?
Can I leave this meeting and bump into someone on Idolize and tell them what happened? Am I prohibited from doing that?
no, but as a commissioner,
Yeah, go ahead.
acting as a commissioner,
Say it.
where is your vested interest?
In the community.
And no,
These residents, excuse me, want to know when and if we are doing anything in regards to pond level.
Okay, so I think that you probably then, it sounds like to me, you probably made some phone calls.
I certainly did.
Okay, that's what I want to hear.
And so I did.
That's what I want to hear.
I did. And I have the perfect right to do so. But what was more interesting was that a resident came in here and complained that there was water on her land.
Right.
And I asked, the question that was given by Kelly was, he was told that there was property damage. And I asked that resident, what property has been damaged? He says, there's water on my land.
She said,
A retaining wall.
The cement in between the blocks
I
is
can only
coming
go
out.
by what I'm told.
And so, with the blocks underwater, no. I've been to that property before. That wall's been there for 50, 60 years. I wouldn't be surprised if the water in between those cement blocks is coming up.
you're making an accusation that you don't know is factual.
Yeah, but again, if someone comes in and says, I have property damage and does not, here's what I'm going to request. If someone does this again, I'm going to make a motion. If someone reports to the DPW that the water level is causing property damage, that resident will be required, and Kelly can tell them, I need photographs, I need you to show me, I need you to document the property damage.
That should be going both ways too, though.
Absolutely.
So, the reality of this whole thing is, we pulled the board went back in this morning, we had a total of 3 to 4 inches drop. No harm, no foul.
Right.
It was mitigated, we brought the water back down to acceptable levels, and now we have lawyers contacting using my name, and that's what I'm bothered by. My name's plastered all over this lawyer's letter as the person responsible. That ticks me off. This should have never happened. I should have not even said a word to the board and just did what I thought best taken the board out, put the board in, no one would have
Be
known.
right with you, John. But my concern was the water level that I saw at the dam that day has been there countless times. As a matter of fact, for a long period of time this spring. Yet we never heard anything. Now all of a sudden we hear from this, again, this one resident, and
Jay,
I'm just wondering,
I don't believe a freaking word you're saying.
okay, that's
You want to
fine.
know something? You talk out of both sides of your mouth, and you're talking right now out of both sides.
Well, it's gotta be one side or the other.
No, it isn't because of how you are.
Yeah, okay.
The old Jay, I told you back weeks ago, is back. You're not a forthright person. You try to present Pizarro out there like you're God, and you're far from it when people know it.
Hey, Mike, can you stop doing personal attacks?
No,
on people?
I'm going to
Because-
tell them like it is.
because
I'm going to tell them like it is, and I'm.
Attacks are appropriate,
John.
but personal attacks are not appropriate.
John.
Listen, I don't have to answer to you.
Yeah, John,
I
John,
didn't ask for an answer. That's
No,
not what I
John,
did.
I'll tell you.
John.
I can tell him the way it is.
please, I'm running the meeting, please. Thank you for your concerns. That's Mike. And let Mike be, you can't change Mike. So if he wants to attack me, I'll perfectly accept it. I know I've known Mike for years, and that's Mike, so that's fine. I have no problem with it.
I guess we're kind of getting off the topic
Yeah,
here.
so we're going back to.
We're not accomplishing anything.
I have a motion
And
on
for
the
somebody who
table.
complains the most about the meetings running too long, I find this kind of,
Yeah,
I'm complaining about this meeting,
I know
totally.
you already did.
okay, but I have a
Believe
motion,
me,
I have a
I'm
motion,
leaving.
I have a
I've had
motion on
enough
the
of
table,
this.
because I want to take the responsibility, not away from Kelly, but I don't want him to be held liable, and he won't be.
Well, if you stop staring a pot of shit, which you did, you wouldn't have the problem, and that's what you did.
Okay. I think the problem,
And point blank, I'm leaving because this meeting is crazy.
But we got-
Having it today should have been on Thursday. If you can't make it, the other board members can have a
you
meeting.
can still have a meeting on Thursday,
No.
No,
You guys can resolve it right now. I'm leaving.
but you're coming back on Thursday, you can still have a meeting.
Hey, if there's a meeting on Thursday, I'll be here.
Okay.
In the morning,
All right,
all right?
okay. So the
Instead
motion,
of schedule meetings.
Okay, so what time is it? 1:30?
1:31.
1:32. Mike was going to leave anyway. He already told us that. So he didn't leave because of this. He already said he was leaving in 10 minutes.
so a motion
Okay.
on the table.
All right.
That anyone that complains of property damage to Kelly,
I'm not taking letters from people.
and this
No,
is the
no.
thing.
It comes through the
needs to come
office.
through the
It's the
office.
office.
So
Yeah.
first
It
of all,
does.
Yeah.
And then I have to assess who has damage, who doesn't. This whole thing
Yeah.
is bound to backfire.
But you know what, Kelly? I got a call at 7 o'clock one morning. Oh, my property's flooding. Quick, call Jeff because I know Kelly's on vacation. So call
I got
Jeff
the-
and tell him to to take a board out.
I got 6:45 in the morning.
Okay, so I got 7 a.m. So we can't do that. You can't knee-jerk
I
respond.
still got the phone call anyway.
So,
And you were in Florida.
yeah.
Yeah.
So
So it can't.
I drove by that property and it was not flooded. I hate to say it, it was not flooded. Okay.
So John, I'm going to let you speak, but we have a motion on the table, John.
I know, I was saying,
We don't.
if you're talking more, you should second it before you talk.
Exactly.
Yeah. So there is no motion on the table. You
No,
started to make a motion.
Yeah,
Okay.
so it's not seconded?
What's your motion?
The motion was that anyone that reports to Kelly, or actually now it should be to the office.
Okay.
The office.
Okay.
That their property-
Any concern about property
Damage.
damage will
Must
require.
Must provide evidence, either with photographs.
Evidence is a legal term, you know
Yeah, I
that,
know,
right?
I know.
Require evidence with photos of damage. And the thing is, you can't say it was never wet like that before, because how do you prove that?
Right.
I mean,
You can't say it was never dry like that before.
exactly,
Right.
exactly. And even Paula was saying she's got high water marks on her rocks that are way higher than
Yeah.
what was being determined to be the highest has ever been in 5 years. So,
Okay. Because, again,
So
Kelly was
okay.
called on his cell phone.
right, no, but let me ask you this.
Yeah.
My understanding, because of course this dam management policy is, and first
we
of all.
just have a second so we can
Okay, I'm
discuss?
sorry, yeah, okay, I'll second it.
All right.
Thank you, John. Okay, seconds. Okay,
we can just-
so two things. One thing is, I was under the understanding that if the water surpasses that little kayak rack area at Boulder Beach, it will crest over that road before it floods anybody's home.
Right.
Is that
It's never
true?
been proven, but it's been spoken of. It's never been proven.
Okay, but is that sort of what the design was, because the houses were built so close to the water, that it would breach the road and go down into Banfield Brook prior to it getting high enough, unless it was a hurricane or the water was coming up so fast that it couldn't
So one of the reports.
dissipate fast enough?
Yeah, one of the reports done on the dam several years ago, 2-3 years ago now, by Charlie Krupman, I believe, indicated that was basically the emergency, I'll call it spillway. That's probably not the right word, but if the dam was not able to hold the capacity of the water flowing through it, the water would rise up by the kayak area and flow over the pavement of Idlewise Drive and then down by the playground and back into the brook. And that was by design.
Okay, so that high water would,
And in that flood instance, no homes around the ponds would be affected. Now, there might be a picnic table that might be half underwater, but no homes would be affected.
No retaining walls, no nothing.
Idlewise Drive
I don't know,
by,
'cause that-
so what would you call it?
Exactly.
Intersect,
May-
okay, so it'll spill over
Yeah.
Idlewise Drive and Jungfrau going up right there?
No,
What goes up?
Idlewise Drive and
Aspen.
down by what they call the bridle path and back into the brook.
Right, but what's the road going uphill? Aspen?
Oh, Aspen.
That's Aspen.
Appendale.
Appendale, okay.
Happens.
So that's where that triangle is, and that's where it would kind of go over, okay. Idlewise Drive and Appendale. Appendale, okay. Okay. All right, that was my understanding, that was what the belief is, that would happen, and that, yes, the water does get high, and it gets higher on everybody's property, and then it gets lower as we have the drought conditions.
Yeah.
Okay. So the other thing I wanted to, okay, I'll say it after we make this motion. Okay. So the motion is that will require evidence of photos of damage, and it has to be,
But it's certainly another issue.
John?
Okay, a question is,
Yeah, it's just a second.
you were saying that the office received it, so during this Thursday meeting, Kelly reported that someone, a person said the land was being destroyed. Was that sent to the office? Did you guys, did you know about that before having that meeting?
No, Kelly
I
introduced
bumped
us.
into her on the way in, and then she ended up coming to the meeting.
Okay, so that's what you're trying to stop. So, because my question is, if people reporting to him, then why can't other people report?
Exactly.
So you're trying to stop the reporting to him, and all reports have to go through the office?
Correct.
Okay.
Yes.
It's not fair to Kelly
No.
to be receiving, oh my gosh, receiving phone calls about
I agree.
water levels, potholes, everything
It
under the
makes
sun.
consistency too, and you have a
Yeah.
record.
Yeah. Okay. Okay, all right. So that's, the motion is just that, okay. So any concern about the damage, and it has to be sent to the office. But that's, we can't enforce that. That's a hard motion to enforce, but at least we've discussed it. Okay, all
When
right,
somebody calls, you can say, can you please send us pictures?
yeah.
So you have the policy there. Now, that morning, you guys all agreed that a board should come out, so
Yes.
it wasn't just Kelly.
Yes.
You guys, it was you and Mike, but you didn't say to Gloria, let me come down and see if it's flooded or not. You immediately told Kelly to take the board out. So that you are yielding to.
We were cresting the concrete.
Right.
Anytime the water's cresting, there's no reason to let it crest. We all sat in a meeting last year when we talked about this policy, and we said a 4-inch level would be maintained. On 4 inches down from the top of the concrete, that was the adequate water level. We now have a red mark there that I eye every day, and it was well above the red mark. Taking a board out brought it back down to within a high level above the red, but still within the buffer. The buffer, I would say, between the concrete and the red mark. In between there, it gets below the red, all boards in.
Because
So
red is the
that's-
minimum.
Well, it was never called a minimum. It
Right,
was called
you're
the
right.
line.
Right, but
It was called the line to keep the water at, and we all spoke about it. We were all in agreement, I'm pretty sure, saying that would work for all parties. The red line, if I can maintain that, I can't maintain it an inch above, an inch below, I can go for the red line. The ponds don't work this way. A little bit of flow off the mountain, a little bit of rain. To maintain the red line as close as I can to it was the decision we had last year. I actually watched the meeting again because I knew this was coming. That was a consensus with everyone in the room.
Okay.
That's what I was charged to do at that time. Now, the level's apparently the top of the concrete going into the spillway. So how do I maintain this when I'm being told, no, we want it over the spillway?
And that's going to be the question, which I
You need to
posed-
reestablish your
Yeah.
watermark.
No, exactly. So that, the red mark was the 4 inches below the top of the concrete, which the fire chief said, do not let the water go below this line, or else we'll be sucking air through the dry hydrant. Now, the other question is, well then how far higher than the concrete, the top of the concrete, can the water level go? And should it be going over the concrete? And I think the email that I received back from Stephanie Hubbard, who's doing our emergency action plan for the dam, stated that normally water does not crest over concrete. You shouldn't let it crest over concrete. Not that it doesn't, but you shouldn't let it. So we're in a dilemma now where Kelly just pointed it out, where he's got to control the water level roughly about 5 or 6 inches.
It's actually 4. It's 4
Yeah.
inches over the top of the concrete.
You'll be, it's impossible. That's the whole point I'm trying to bring up, is that this is impossible. So she's actually, Stephanie Hubbard, is going back and looking at the design of our dam to see if the intent was to have that overflow take water normally, under normal conditions, and then how much would be acceptable over that top. Because otherwise, I almost foresee, and you pointed it out, someone sitting there in a lawn chair, pulling the board out, waiting a little while, putting it back in, pulling it out, putting it in.
So one of the things that we discussed, and in theory sounded like a great idea, but in practicality was not, was the 2-inch increments. And that's why that's in the dam policy, but it never got implemented because it wasn't really realistic. But if we did a 5-inch board, would that help the fluctuation in the heights?
I mean,
So you said you took
We're
out a
talking
10-inch
a couple
board, but it only went out. You took a 10-inch board out, but it only went down 3 inches. It
Right.
didn't go down 10 inches.
Right.
It only went down 3.
Well, you
Well,
put it back
doing
in
this-
before.
Right, right.
yeah, and we monitor it. And we're only doing this in, increments that if people can't handle a 2-inch drop, I mean, I don't know. I've been here 8 years, and the first almost 7, we handled it with, a few people would stop and ask us questions and say, what we're doing with this, and everyone seemed fine with the explanation that this is how we've been doing it, this is how it works. And it was only since, 2.5 years ago that this really became.
But we did discover 2 things that we did not know. One was the minimum for the fire department. We did not know that there was a line that once the water went below it could be detrimental to the fire hydrant. We did not know that there was such a
Right,
line.
We've never been, that's always where we've been anyway.
Okay.
So it was good to get it clarified,
Yeah.
but that's where we've
Okay.
been.
And we also found out that we cannot lower the water after October 15th. That was something that none of the previous boards knew was an
We're not a
RSA.
Major drawdown.
No, but even October 15th. A major drawdown has to be public notice
Right.
and all that. We don't have to do that. Ours is not a major drawdown. But even drawing down any water after October 15th, I think, is against the RSA.
Well, I'll tell you, we're gonna get flooded out if we don't draw down below that red line.
Though we do before October 15th.
Well, we've never had a deadline like that I know of, so.
I think,
that's
and I think that was
Yeah, so
something
that's,
that.
that's in the DES regulations, and I actually got the lake level graph that was actually up on the bulletin board at Madison Town Hall. This is for Silver Lake. And there's your date, October 15th, right there. They drop it down 2 weeks prior to that to a level of 2.2 feet above the gauge, or to the gauge. There's a gauge on the dam. And then they raise it back up to 3.8 feet, coming back on May the 15th. They let it go back up.
If you ever saw that lake in the fall, I'm sure you have, it's drawn down.
Oh,
Totally,
yeah.
Everyone's got beachfront.
Yeah, yeah,
And there's a reason for it.
yeah.
But they also have a nice little wheel they turn.
Right.
They're not pulling
Yeah.
boards out.
Exactly. They got a nicer setup.
But that's what we have to be aware of, is that, and they even wrote, they didn't put October, they wrote October 15th right
Right.
on the line. It's
Yeah.
got to be done by that date.
So how do we know what that mark is?
We can draw down.
To the red line.
That's 4 inches.
Yeah, I know.
We're gonna be out there in boots up to our knees trying to pull a board hanging
Yeah.
off the side there.
Yeah.
I'm thinking of not that, it's hard on a good day to pull those boards.
Oh, I
There's
know.
water pressure against them all.
This is exactly what I'm trying to point out, is that, like I said, someone sitting in a lawn chair, board in,
Yeah,
board
but,
out.
right,
board in.
but so what's the
What I'm pointing
solution?
out is-
So Jay, what's the solution then?
The solution I'm looking for from our engineer who's looking at the emergency action plan is to see if it's acceptable to have the water flow over the concrete.
Okay,
If
because of
that's the
structural,
case,
because of structural issues?
it's basically wear on the concrete, the erosion of the concrete, if you want to call it that. But I'm waiting for that determination. If we can do that, then basically we put the board in, and it is what it is. It just flows over the concrete through the grate. I don't see it getting much higher than 2 inches above
I've seen
the
it.
concrete.
Are you gonna have that information for the hearing?
That's what I'm hoping for.
Oh, don't hope, get it.
I know. I actually got a call from her today. I got to call her back. So communication is happening.
Over the concrete dam, okay, all right. So,
Can I make some corrections, or
yes.
just in this general discussion? It's a couple of things. You guys have a motion going, and that this is
Yeah.
completely off.
Okay, so basically, the motion is that anybody concerned about the property has to submit to the office evidence of that damage, and not just a verbal concern at a meeting.
Right.
Okay, so I seconded the motion, so all in favor? Yes, okay, so passes, all right.
So the office is a point of contact.
Okay, and okay. But people should not just show up to the meeting saying whether they feel the water is too high or too low, unless they've got some kind of
Evidence.
documented evidence. Okay, all right.
Yes.
So
Now, just general corrections on
Okay.
what people are saying. Like a couple of things. In the previous meeting, there was no acceptance of pulling a board. What happened was, when I watched it, Jay mentioned several things about on the list of guidelines, fire, the boards. Mike said, we should let Kelly do what he wants to do. There was no agreement for both of them to remove the board or not. They were discussing back and forth. There was no motion, there was no vote on that. Kelly pleaded that the DPO has final say, and that's how it went in that. So I was just correcting what someone said.
Yeah, that's the
The
term.
lawyer's letter said there was a vote 1-1.
I saw that, yeah.
Yeah,
That
he was
was
wrong.
right.
Yeah.
That is incorrect. Second of all, you say 2 years. No, there's been complaints from residents over 7 years to the Board of Commissions about concerns that they have regarding lake levels. So this is not a 2-year thing. This has been going on. Third all, you guys, Jay keeps mentioning the fire thing. We talked about that in 2018-19 when he came in. We all knew that was a policy. And for me to hear that I don't know, I guess, for this
Oh, no.
fact to come up is wrong.
we did. I don't
If
think.
someone's a dam operator, they should know that fact and hold that fact as part of the dam operation.
Okay.
Where's
My-
that fact written down?
So I don't think we discussed it, John. Jay didn't join the board until like
May 5th.
May of 19.
Then it was May of 19.
And then we didn't know, because then we got the fire chief involved. There was a concern, but no one knew exactly where that number was. And finally, they actually went out and did some testing. And that didn't happen
That was
until,
that year. No, that was
it
that.
could have been very, very late in 19.
Okay.
Okay,
that's
so
19.
it wasn't until after I was on board. So it happened, during my tenure, which I've only been a commissioner for 2.5
So why is it being
years.
brought up now?
It's not. We know. We've got the red.
He did not know.
Yes, we did. That was the red mark.
I know all of it.
Yeah.
Okay, then why are you questioning that?
I'm not questioning, I said I was given a red line to maintain water. That's all I ever maintained.
During the meeting, and I watched it yesterday, you said you're gonna drop it down to the red line. And that's when Jay said, no, that's the lowest point, because they're trying to keep it.
Right?
And you said you're dropping it down to the red line.
Right. Not to exceed the red line. I'm sorry, maybe you need perfect verbiage, but not to exceed the red line. That's where I aim for. And if you were at that meeting last year, and you remember, it was discussed where the ideal line was, and we said 4 inches below the top of the concrete.
No.
Yes.
Once again, I'm gonna go over the dam policy right
You know
now.
what? You can take the damn policy, and you know what you can do with it, because I'm
Are
done
you
with this.
attacking me?
Yes, I am.
No, come on. So,
I'm leaving before I get in trouble. I'm excusing myself from this nightmare of a meeting.
all right.
And write me up, do what you need to do. I'm not taking that from anybody.
All right.
I personally was not attacking, I was stating the facts.
Yes. Okay, I think it's actually written, I believe, in the policy that,
I'd like to read the policy.
yeah,
but
4 inches below the
for
top of
us,
the concrete is the
because
minimum level.
Number one, right, boards varying in sizes, 4 inch, 2 inch, 6 inch. Never tested, never reviewed. Would have been a better choice for him, instead of removing a 10-inch board, you're doing environmental damage downstream, you're flooding. 2 inches, you look for gradual, if you need to.
Well, he took out a 10-inch board, and it really only went down 2 or 3 inches in
What
a
happened
week.
downstream?
No, it's the downstream, the Larry Leonard side.
Yeah,
Yeah,
you even took 20 inches of boards out. What happens to Leonard downstream?
yeah, there wasn't 20 inches of board.
There
The
was
10
20 inches
They
of
took it
board.
out, they put that 10 back in, and they put the other 10 back on top of that.
Yeah.
So, there weren't 2 boards out at one time.
During this year?
I don't believe there was. I don't believe there was.
Pod levels kept as high as possible, especially during drought.
I mean,
Are we
that's,
in drought?
Yeah, we're in a drought.
Yes.
Yeah.
By state, we're in drought.
We get the notice.
Not keeping as high as possible, wants to bring it down to the 4 line. Boards holding the water dam never altered by more than 2 inches,
Right.
never
That-
tested.
and we never got that far.
This dam policy was created also by an environmental group that you guys had.
Mm-hmm.
They had input into this. Heavy rain, 2 inches. Once again, not just flooding downstream, not control. Lastly, you guys had, he was draining the water. You were having, drain the water after October, okay? We had an understanding about that. The Fish and Game put a cease and desist, or actually the
No,
dam.
that never happened. The commissioners called Fish and Game prior to any resident contacting them about that, and the board was put back in. So we never got a cease and desist from Fish and Game. That is incorrect.
That is incorrect what you're saying, because what happened was you removed the board, and we notified Adam Leisner, about it. And he said, yeah, I told him before the board was removed. And then you guys still pulled it, and we went online and told people to call in Fish and Game. Fish and Game was notified, and then you did that. But you did it, okay,
Okay.
you were told not to do it, right?
Okay, anyway, but we never got a cease and
You did
desist
it
from
again
Fish
the
and Game.
next year. You did a drawdown after.
Anyway, John,
I'm
we're-
telling you, my whole point, no, not my whole point is, you have a dam operator not following any procedures, not following any guidelines, even state guidelines. And we've been talking about this for 7 years. What do we do?
Well, that's what the public hearing.
because no matter what we do, half the population is going to be unhappy.
No,
Because everybody's looking out for their own property's best interest. Simple as that.
you don't, that's a general statement that you don't know.
It's a pretty accurate statement.
You don't know. And what about the wildlife? That's the sad part. No one mentions the dam operator, anyone mentions the wildlife. What happens there? This was done, the reason this was created by the environmental committee in order to help. We gave input into this, people have gave input. No one mentions that, environmentally, what's happening
John,
at all.
I
And
have
these concerns have been happening for 7 years.
Yeah, we have to, yeah, okay.
I just have a quick
Okay,
question
so-
for you. In that environmental committee, I was talking to one of those members this morning who couldn't be at this meeting, but he said that no more than 10% of the allowable boards can be removed at any one time without notifying DES. Is that correct? Is it 10%?
You have to check with the dam bureau, but it really deals with drawdown.
Right.
So, and I would consider 10 inches a big drawdown, but the state needs to define that.
Yeah, so there's 40
I did send you a copy of the policy that said the state uses the word significant, but they don't define it.
Right.
Okay.
That's why I was wondering.
So there's
was
no
there an actual percentage
definition
somewhere?
of significant. Your significant and my significant could be two
Exactly.
completely
And
different
I do
things.
agree with you on that.
Okay.
I don't
Thank
know
you.
that.
Yeah.
So, I don't
Okay.
know.
We don't know. So there is no define, because Winnipesaukee significant
Exactly.
is a very different thing than Silver Lake significant.
Right.
Yeah.
So I don't
Yeah.
think there's a one size
16
fits all.
feet versus 4 feet.
You know, one size does not fit all in that situation. So there's, and that's typically at the end of the season, they draw down so people can work on their docks and maintain their frontage, if the dam needs repair and maintenance or inspection. I mean, that's I mean, I lived on Pierce Lake over in Antrim area, and you could walk across the lake. There was no water in the lake all winter long. So that's a significant drawdown, and it was because of maintenance on the dam itself. So that's the type of drawdown that they're referring to, that needs a public notice and a public hearing in 30 days and all of that.
Okay.
So
I want to move the meeting.
yeah, so let me, the one thing I wanted to clarify, because I don't know the answer to this, because we have a policy on how we think the best way to manage the dam is, I don't believe that's a legally enforceable, or it's illegal to vary from that policy.
Okay, so based on.
So that's why we were surprised that the lawyer is telling us that we're doing things wrong. I think we have the right to do that. I think we have a right to do that. Even though it's a policy, that's kind of the general guidelines that we are following. It's not an ordinance, which is more, it's a legally enforceable document that we can issue fines, etc. But the policy is like, this is how we feel the best way to manage this situation is. So I don't, and maybe I'm incorrect in assuming that, but I don't think that a policy that we could be sued because we didn't follow a policy.
Actually, it's based on what he's been saying and what Mike said last meeting. He's full responsible for the dam. So you're not. It wasn't directed at.
No, I didn't, and I don't mean me, but I'm just saying.
To address the commissioners because he could not address Kelly.
No, I think that, but I'm just wondering, I don't think that just because if we did something contrary to the policy, and as long as it wasn't violating state law, that we're not legally liable or held legally responsible for that.
But you have violated.
Yeah. But I'm saying, not because it's the policy, but because it's an RSA through the state,
And
which
you
is
have
different.
violated it and fully known violated it and did it again.
So I think when the rewriting of the policy needs to very clearly
And we got-
indicate the requirements by DES. And then if Kelly's going to be the person responsible for pulling the boards and putting them back in, which he probably will, he needs to then know those rules. We need to state them in the policy so he can read the policy. And basically, he won't be held liable. It'll be, the liability will be on the policy being wrong because the commissioners released it wrong, or some fashion of that.
My concern is protection of the environment
Yeah.
and other things, and we're just, after 7 years, we've seen some violations, and it's just not changing.
Yeah, so
Nothing has changed.
hopefully the new policy which we will pass before DES for their blessing, they will say this is fine. I want to make sure that in part of the questions that we ask them, does this protect both the wildlife upstream as well as downstream? Because I'm hearing from both sides that my stream is drying up, I've got brook trout that have got no water to swim in, and things like that. And vice versa on the other side too. So
On a wildlife side, what have you heard from a wildlife side for holding it higher?
say it again.
What have you heard on the wildlife side for holding it higher?
Well, because the brook dries up, there's not enough water going down the brook.
No, you have a constant hole in your.
It's a
Yeah.
dribble.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's a
That's what you're
dribble.
doing now.
So,
Right.
You're
So
just doing the
yeah.
leakage through the dam.
Right.
So what is the environmental impact by holding it high? You said that there is on the other side. What is that?
Well, the concern was that because we lowered it just recently, the past weekend, he saw the amount of water coming down, and he knew that that's about to stop because they're going to put a board back in when they reach that mark. That then would cause the wildlife on the downstream to suffer.
Okay, but that doesn't explain why keeping it high.
No, but he was upset
So-
with the fact that a board was taken out
Jay.
because there was good water flowing.
Yep.
Okay.
Yeah. So this is all good discussion for the public hearing, which is why we're having the public hearing, and it's not part of
And that's-
our
I want,
commissioners meeting.
My whole point was bringing up the past. I want the public hearing to be the future.
Yeah.
So
Okay.
That's why I'm.
Well, that would be appreciated so that we can be
makes sense?
constructive.
Because, that's what those letters are based on. And it's a lot of past problems. And you reach a point and it's like, when things keep repeating, that's a problem.
Well, that's why we are having a public hearing.
Okay.
Because we recognize that the way things are written and the way things are being implemented need to be addressed.
Okay. I just want to jump to, we're already an hour into the meeting, I want to jump to administration. And Donnie, you want to talk about the water bills?
They went out
They did?
yesterday,
Okay.
21 of them. with the certified letters that if it's not paid by September 1st, the water will be shut off.
Okay.
Okay.
Thank you, guys.
All right, thank you, John.
Yeah, have a good, get outside.
Yeah.
Okay. Anything else under administration?
No, the only thing that I do want for the signature items is I had, the manifest,
Yep.
I had to pay a Lowe's bill because it was getting past the due date if I waited till next week. And the retirement also,
Yeah.
New Hampshire retirement. So that manifest has to be signed today. And there's a refund for an overpayment for a person who paid extra on their water bill.
Yep.
And there's a water hookup application that was part of that Nick Skagel's modeling.
Yes.
And that has to be approved by the board today.
Okay.
So those are my most important that I want to
Okay.
make sure that they get done.
All right, so let's talk about number 13 East Bergamo. This was that water hookup that we thought was done.
Yes.
And what-
We thought it was, we thought it was approved, and we had not approved it.
Right.
So it got sort of kicked to the side, and then.
But that was the one that had gone out to the engineering
Yes.
because we had to
Yeah.
get it put on the
Model.
model,
Yep.
so.
Yep. And it did come back as
And
being, okay.
Yes. And the email from the engineers being on the back of
Oh,
it.
this year.
So for your,
I was gonna put down.
Put on
Yeah.
PSI.
yeah, so. I know the homeowner was anxious and it was just,
Yeah.
because it was out for so long. We waited,
So this one's talking about the pressure at
Right. But all we're worrying about is this guy, his hookup, and he's at, no, he is 13.
13.
He's 13.
right. This is the one that goes to number 9. Is this the number 19 email?
they were both on the same
Yeah.
got
And you got the
And he got
addresses
the-
mixed
yeah.
up.
Oh,
but
okay.
they were the,
Because I want to put down the correct PSI. So at approximately 15 East Bergamo, they had 67 PSI consistently. Okay. So that's right across the street from 13. So I'm going to put 57. And water main available, yes. System degradation, no. Requirements for connection, there is no requirements. So the day is the 3rd?
third.
So it's the other property that's still in the Class 6 that doesn't have the water main, and he'll be
Yeah.
extending the water main out to that location. Okay.
Thank you.
Okay.
And I wrote the amount for the manifest on the agenda.
Yeah.
Yep. So I'll make a motion to approve.
Okay, so actually, JB makes a motion to
Approve the water application for 13.
water hookup,
You just approve it.
so 13
Circle it.
East
Thank you.
Bergamo. Okay.
Do I have a second?
Yep.
Any further discussion?
No, passes 2-0. Okay.
All right. So we have a manifest in the amount of $4,722.17. I'll make the motion to approve the manifest.
Seconded.
Okay, this consists of a check going back to a resident that overpaid their water bill. And that, okay, I understand that comes out of the operating budget.
Yeah, and we
Yeah.
will transfer it when I have the paperwork
Okay.
for my trusty treasurer.
So motion's been made, do I have a second?
I'll second it.
All right, any discussion?
No, 3-0.
All in favor, say aye.
Yes.
Okay.
I don't think I changed the date on that. Can you just put the 3rd on the bottom?
Yep.
I'm sorry. I just thought of that.
There's a couple 3 checks in there.
And we even have Dinah here, so she can sign. Okay, and while Kathy's signing that, get this done, Signature cards to the bank. Did Mike not do the signature cards? Is that still active?
I have them here, Mike didn't do them.
Oh, Mike hasn't signed them yet?
No.
Has he been signing checks?
What?
Has he been signing checks?
No.
Oh, okay. Huh, does he not want to?
No, they haven't,
It took a while for me to figure things out,
Yeah.
that's why.
Okay.
they had nothing to do. Yeah,
Okay,
don't
okay.
be-
All right, so this is,
I'll get it.
okay, all right.
All right. You want to jump down to commissioners' reports?
Okay, so,
The manifest. Approved and signed.
tax, signature, cards, still needs
Yes.
His
to
signature.
sign. Okay, all right. All right. Commissioner reports, the only thing I've got to report today is that we did get in 10 key-to-light locks with 20, no, I got 8 locks. So there's 8 locks with 16 keys.
Okay, so that key,
They're key-to-light, and then each lock does have 2 keys.
Okay.
So this will be our new pump house locks, and they can take all the other locks and do whatever they choose to do with them. So these should go to Ian, and so next trip through, he can go through and change all the locks.
Okay.
But all the keys should be on a fob that say what they are, that they're pump houses.
Just 3.
That's it, that they're pump house locks.
Yep.
I'm just going to ask Donna, and when you get a chance, if you could just notify Ian.
I'll call him, I'll let him know.
Okay. Let's see, I got a couple of things. The bathroom in the DPW. So have we gotten a new insurance form from, I forget his name, Steve Haney?
So what was the issue with the insurance form?
The start date was wrong.
Okay, August 1st, so now we've
Yeah.
cleared August 1st.
Yeah. And then the amounts, if they could change the amounts to what Primex.
Well, it said that they typically see coverage at $1 million and $500,000. Our whole building's not worth that. And he said,
Right.
if the commissioners agree that the coverages on the statement are acceptable, that's all he just said. I don't think he was recommending that we have higher ones. I mean, we're not putting a, $30,000 roof on our building. It's a, $2,500 bathroom project.
There was a plumber that was in the neighborhood who was on that home advisor that I sent out to. He did meet with Kelly and went through the bathroom, but felt that the job was a $6,700 job.
Okay.
So significantly higher.
Well, it's good that at least you got another price.
Yeah.
And the other thing on that request from Primex was proof of insurance on a commercial vehicle, which
Yeah.
he does not have. He uses his personal vehicle. It's a personal vehicle, not a commercial vehicle. And they wanted evidence of unemployment insurance for his employees, but
Right.
he's self-employed. There's no employees. So I think all we need to do is get I don't know what the name of the form is that shows the VDOE is his customer.
Right, we need to be listed on his
Yeah,
insurance.
so,
Yeah.
okay. So if you want, I'll reach out and have him,
Yeah.
if he can get, so you're okay with the liability limits that are on the current policy?
Yeah, there was one though that was down around 100,000, and what was it, $5,000 per incident? Was that medical?
I didn't read it.
You don't have it?
I don't have it with
But
me.
for the scope of the project, I feel that it's more than adequate.
Right. But I just want to make sure the district's protected in case he does get hurt.
Okay.
$5,000 wouldn't even get him into the emergency.
But then he signed that first form he signed, he was waiving us of all liability anyway.
Right.
So it wouldn't, the insurance is to protect us if something happened.
Yeah,
Not-
that's what I'm looking for. So when it's in liability, it's that he's not going to hold us liable if he gets hurt or
Right.
injured.
And that was the first form
Right.
that
Yeah.
I gave you, which I didn't even read it. I was thinking that
Right.
was his insurance coverage, but it's just a waiver of liability.
Right.
So he did sign that with us, hold harmless for the district.
Yeah.
So,
And,
okay.
the fear is if he drops a wrench, it breaks the water main, the garage floods, then there's $10,000 or more worth of damage, possibly.
Yeah.
So,
I think it's 500,000 per incident.
Yeah.
So, okay.
Okay.
All right, so Stacy,
You can
okay.
reach out to
So,
him?
Yep.
all right.
So all we need is that one piece of paper that lists the VDOE as a insured.
The insured.
Okay. Then we can say, go ahead and start working.
Yep.
Okay, so, It's a
And
motion to approve, to accept Spruce Creek Properties insurance,
with changes to the insurance
proof
documentation.
of insurance.
Yep.
Okay. VDOE added as insured, additional insured, right? Okay, so that's all. Okay, so everything else is acceptable. Okay, so I'll second that. All right, and passes 2-0. Okay, all right.
All right.
This is for DPW1. Bathroom, I'll put JB you got a second quote in excess of 6,000.
Yep.
Okay, all right, go ahead.
There was a letter that I drafted actually 2 or 3 weeks ago now about 49 Edelweiss Drive, 49 Edelboden Way, which was the access to that 105 acres that was planned by the homeowner. The concern that was noted was that we're not collecting any taxes for that portion of the process.
Is that your concern?
It is a concern that the district, looking out for the best interests of the district, that we should be getting taxes for that property.
Because Madison took it out of our district and put it into the town of
But I think the
Madison.
best interest of the district was to not get any money, and that way they can say that they don't really have access to our roads.
They do.
No,
No.
physically they do,
Yeah.
but if they're not if they're considered
Yeah.
in Madison, a piece of property in Madison that abuts an Edelweiss road, do they have legal access to Edelweiss?
This one does.
Okay, there's not that one, there's a different one that does, right? Is there somebody else in Madison that
Yeah.
already has access to our road?
It's the same homeowner
Yeah,
that
same
owned it.
homeowner. It was Don Marks. Let me see if I can find it. I left a copy on your chair,
Yeah.
Donna.
It's right here. The only thing I found, looking at this, that only one commissioner signed it, and there was no date of approval.
That's a driveway application.
Oh,
I'm
okay.
talking about the access rights.
But is that,
No.
that's what you left on my,
Yeah.
okay,
Do you know what this is? It's a modification to the existing driveway.
okay.
They wanted to pave the apron. That's all it was.
Oh.
So they have recorded deeded access to the property.
And was this the Edelboden property we're talking about?
This is the 105 acres.
Okay.
And
And they
which,
have a driveway permit?
they have a driveway permit to upgrade the driveway from Aspen. Remember Don Marks? Do you know Don Marks?
No, but I remember that you said Aspen was another
Yeah.
thing besides
So-
Edelboden.
Don Marks would access his property from Aspen Drive.
And
Going-
then going through Edelweiss roads down Aspen and Grissom and
Yeah,
everything
yeah,
to get out?
Yeah.
Why don't they use Even Farm?
The access off of Aspen gets into Evan Farm Road
So why don't they go out Eben Farm Road rather than going down Aspen?
because they already have access to Aspen through a reserved area in Edelweiss that was recorded under Book 748, page 152 of the Carroll County Registry of Deeds.
When?
I'd have to go to the book and page.
Is that the reserved part that the gentleman on Even Farm Road uses to access Edelweiss?
Gentleman on Even Farm. You mean Don
No,
Marks?
the new owner is what you're talking about, right?
No, I'm talking about the person who lives on Even Farm Road.
Yeah, that's Don Marks.
That's Don Marks.
Yeah.
And that piece that's Edelweiss property he wants to use.
Yes.
So why doesn't he go out Even Farm Road rather than going through our property?
Because it's a really ruddy road.
So he really needs to improve his road.
Why
Rather
should he
than
have to if he
cars.
has access?
It's not his road, it's a town's road,
Yeah,
right?
it's a town, Class 6 road.
Oh,
Yeah. It's Evan Farm Road, it's Class 6.
okay.
So it's easier, obviously, and more convenient for him to drive through our roads.
Yeah.
And he has a deed or access to it.
Which was done long before I was born.
So and this is the same person that now owns 105 with the
No,
Edelboden lot?
that's,
No, so this access through
I guess.
Idlewise to Eben Farm Road,
It's just for him.
yeah, so now that access gets this person to the 105 acres.
So that's a different person that owns the 105.
Yeah, so that's
We're
what,
giving access to this one gentleman who lives on Eben Farm Road.
that's what I'm gonna find
And that
out.
will give the access to the 150 acres,
105.
105?
Yeah. So I'm gonna be looking at I'm gonna ask Donna if she could look up the book 748.
You know what, Jay, you can do it.
Yeah.
Or I'll do it. I've got the software, the JavaScript on my laptop.
Yeah.
To get to the Registry of Deeds.
We need
So
to,
what are we questioning here?
we're questioning the book and page number, and what it states in that deed. Is the access in perpetuity to all owners?
Now, is that who sold? Is that Mr. Marks the one who sold the land to the new owners?
Yes.
Okay, so it's the same piece of property.
No. So Mr. Mark's house is on one side of Eben Farm Road, 105 acres is on the other side.
Okay.
But
So,
he sold, that used to be his land.
yes,
Okay, so got it. So does that right away transfer?
transfer to the new home
Okay.
property
So
owner.
what's the book and page? Tell me and I'll look it up and
I
send
was
an email
told
to
that
you.
was reserved property on that
It
Idlewise
is.
owned that property.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
So why do we have to give him access?
Well, if he's got deed of right,
Done by some board of commissioners.
you signed it, your name?
No. This is in keeping with the property. There was a modification
Okay.
done to the
All right. So
driveway
what's the book and page there,
back
Jay?
in 2001.
Okay, what's the book and page that you're
The book
looking
and
for?
page is book 748,
Mm-hmm.
page 152.
And it's Marks, M-A-R-K-S. Okay, so,
My only concern is protecting Idlewise. I
Yeah.
don't think these people should be going through our little country roads to
excuse
develop
me for 1 second, I'll be back.
Okay.
50 acres or 100 acres or whatever the heck it is.
Wow. So this goes back to, well, wait a minute, is this the first one? Richard Smith, chairman, John Bendola, myself, and,
You did sign a,
yeah, that was the first application for driveway. But the recorded deed is sometime that's long before even an application was required.
well, it's probably null and void.
I think the application was required in 1995 when the driveway ordinance first came out.
Well, I hope you straighten it out so they can't use our roads.
Mhm.
That's not fair.
Yep.
It's not right for Idlewise. You gotta think about protecting Idlewise, not mark somebody.
Mhm.
Mm-hmm. Would you note that he said that?
Okay. Gonna wait for Kathy to return.
So all that's being researched and we'll come back to a meeting
Yeah.
with the answers.
Yeah.
Okay.
But that's the important part. What does it say in that deed? I'm not sure when it was given to that property owner. I know Don Marks has been here for a long time. So, I remember there was a request at one point in time if Mark could have the logging trucks that were logging that area, take the logs out over our roads. I know that was denied.
So,
Yeah.
good thing.
Yeah.
Let's look that up because that gives us.
Well, that's easy
precedent.
because there's a weight limit on the trucks and we have a weight limit on our roads. He was asking for a waiver to our limits and we said no. So we already had that in place. So,
Just makes me nervous.
I know.
You should see what they're doing to our class 6 roads. It's incredible.
Oh, I've been down to some of them. Okay,
Been shot at yet?
not yet.
Okay, sorry.
All right. So the other issue I wanted to bring up was Gretchen Extension. And that's, we have a correspondence from Eric Davitt. one
yeah,
of the-
we discussed that we were gonna wait until after.
Yeah, I don't see the need to wait, because Eric is still complaining that it's hard for him to get out of his driveway because of the other vehicle that's parked in the road, which is, well, actually, it's the road, our road. It's unregistered, it's just blocking his
What's the,
egress.
give me the lot number again.
Ooh,
29 Gretchen is
29.
What's Eric's? What's Eric's?
29.
Okay, 20. He's 29, Gratian. Okay.
And, I'm just thinking, it's gonna be a while before we actually get to do a site visit, probably because the survey is so backed up, but should we at least try and schedule it? It's probably gonna be in September sometime.
Fine. Yep. Tell
So,
him.
all right, I'll call the surveyor and see if we can find a time to meet.
Call surveyor to have meeting
That's me,
at site. Okay.
site meeting, okay?
Or you couldn't even put in that one of those pins because a vehicle was in the way of the
Oh,
property
yeah,
marker.
it was, yeah, it's right in the middle of this driveway.
Yeah.
Okay,
Okay. All right.
Okay, so jumping down to correspondence,
Oh,
all right, do we have anything else under?
No.
Okay.
I don't know if you need.
Well, let's go with correspondence first. So we have the zoning board letter, and that was for a hearing. Just 8-4 meeting for 18 and 20 Village Shore.
There you go.
Oh, this is the planning board.
Oh, I'm sorry. I thought
Yeah,
it said
it's
zoning.
this is a planning board.
Oh,
Okay. So that's
This is a boundary line adjustment between number 18 and number 20 Little Shore Drive. One side gives 100 feet, the other side takes 100 feet. It's an even swap. You can't do anything, make anything less non-conforming or smaller.
okay. So there's nothing that we need to do about this?
No, I don't, there's no reason, I don't
Nobody
believe,
regarding-
to
It's
object.
a lot line adjustment, okay.
Okay?
okay.
On 18 and 20. Little short, okay, no action.
Okay, and then we went over the pond level emails. And a July daily water usage report.
So back up.
I'm sorry.
So I believe that Attorney Jason, Reimers.
Yes, was asking for a response.
But that, was this for the,
This is for the pond levels.
it was, okay. Todd McCartney. No, I think this was for the fact that water was, the pile of dirt was at the end of his road.
No, that was the.
No, that was, Wilbur.
Mr. Wilbur.
Wilbur, okay.
I have a letter for
Where is
that.
he? Okay.
Yeah.
Todd
Didn't we
McCartney,
put
and,
that on
okay.
there?
Oh, I see what you're saying. Tom, and then, and the letter, okay. I thought
Oh,
Todd
that just
McCartney
came in
and
this
Jason
morning.
came together.
I'm
Okay.
sorry, that just came in this morning.
Okay, all right. All right, so other these things,
So I responded to, I didn't know if you had, but I did respond to Ramirez, Attorney Ramirez, that we would be talking about it today.
okay.
I don't think we need to explain.
I think you
There
just
was no
want-
decisions made today.
No, and, right,
So, okay.
okay.
And a July daily water usage report, good numbers? Ooh.
So are you putting those up on the computer, on the website?
No.
Why?
It takes some time for somebody, do you want to do it?
Well, it doesn't take that long.
Well, do you want to do it?
Well, I don't know how to do it, but people who know how to do it, it doesn't take that long.
Okay.
How long does it take you to do a 91-day request for the water usage?
10 minutes, because I can just pull it up and send it out.
If that.
But
This goes
it's
on the
the
website.
office staff.
Once we get somebody on board,
Yeah.
that's one of the things that they can do is, I think she'll be good at making sure all the monthly documentation gets put on the website, when she knows how to do that.
You know, whatever it was, the day-to-day stuff is, right now, is what I'm trying to keep above
Yeah.
water for.
Yeah.
I made a list of management reports that the administrator used to do before they only had 20 hours. And I think it would be a really good idea to bring all these back. And I also think it would be a pretty good training mechanism for the new person, because they're gonna have to find information and put it on a report, so it shouldn't be, I mean, it should be, finding stuff, and I would think that would be good for them to learn.
Can you send that to the office, your list? Okay.
Yeah, so I'm looking at water usage, that looks like it's averaging around 120 to 130,000 gallons a day. That's a lot of water, actually.
130,000?
Yeah. Some as high as 143. Lowest one we have, I think, is 103. So,
Now, is that an anomaly with all the historical stuff?
I mean, I don't know if, I can't really put a pin on whether the district's really been busy or not, people-wise.
Mm-hmm. It has been.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It has been in the summer.
Yeah.
But we also have the new tank to think about too, so how is that?
Yeah, that's what I'm trying to figure, because I thought
You need
originally,
management reports to
But that wouldn't, the new tank wouldn't affect usage, would it? I mean, you're still gonna use, the property owners or the
This
property
is only
occupants are still gonna be using the same amount of water,
hopefully the new tank
regardless of the tank.
and the new pressure zone would have eliminated any leaks that might have been coming out of the new pressure zone. I mean, the old pressure zone. I mean, the old non-pressure zone. So there would be a hope that there might be some slight reduction. And that would be just some simple leakage. All right, so I'll have that. I'll take a deep look into that. Ian is going to be meeting
Well,
with
it was
us.
supposed to meet Thursday,
Right.
but with this, his schedule didn't work out, so next week,
Okay.
it'll probably be
So
on.
should we have a meeting on Thursday, or should we, there's nothing really pressing for Thursday,
Yeah,
is
if we
there?
can get everything done today,
Okay, all right.
I don't think there'll be a need.
Okay.
The other thing is I did write a letter for Attorney Wilbur with regards to the East Bergamo situation.
I saw that.
I think he was under the assumption that our roads are very much like other town roads and that the property owners actually own to the center line of the road and that we have an easement over the private property. That's not the case in Edelweiss. I explained that to him.
Yeah, the only thing I think that would be, that you didn't address was, his comment was that the property owner on the Classic Road was trying to make his road a non-Class 6, and the property owner can't do that. It's by the vote of the voters.
Yeah.
So I don't know if you
That was
wanted to-
explained to the homeowner.
Okay,
Um,
okay, so they know that already. But
The
does-
homeowner knows
but
that.
But does this attorney know that?
Probably not if he doesn't know that our roads are deeded rights as
Yeah.
opposed to easements.
Okay, so, all right, so you think this is enough information for him? That was the only thing I thought, that we didn't address the fact that the property owner cannot be making he can't initiate.
Yeah.
In order,
Getting his-
the only thing I told the homeowner was that the water line was approved, as long as the road was brought up to,
Class 5 standard.
Class 5 standards. I didn't, and I said, it's not approved, it's still a Class 6 road.
Okay,
Um,
but it has to be so that their guys can, we're not, as of right now, we're not plowing it.
no,
No, no, no.
no,
They're
no,
gonna have to
no.
plow it, but if there's a water
Yes.
break or a problem with water, Ian's gotta be able to get there.
Right.
So that's why
Yeah.
they have to bring the road up to a better
Yes.
standard.
Yeah.
Yes, okay.
So-
It could be a Class 5 standard, but remain Class 6 forever.
Yeah,
Yes.
So you want to send this to him?
sure.
Okay, I'll make a motion that we approve the letter to Attorney Michael Wilbur.
Yeah.
Do I have a second?
Okay, yeah, yes.
Okay. All in favor, say aye. Aye.
Yes, 2-0, okay.
Yeah, he was asking for a response in 10 days, but the pile of dirt was taken out the same day, so. All right. And again, we have the DES reporting to us that we're in a drought. Yep, we know that. Granite State Rural Water Association, was that the,
That was just a meeting thing. I didn't know if it's like a,
Yeah.
that you can attend and whatever. but-
Symposium of some sort.
Yeah, but I copied everything for you if
okay.
that was something you were interested in.
Are you?
And I know Mike had brought up last week that we put together a team to look into the, what do they call that grant?
The federal infrastructure.
The infrastructure, which was the,
They haven't even
Relief
written
on-
the bill, so we got plenty of time.
yeah. But the other one, which is the Gophers, where the counties have already received money, but unfortunately in writing the law, they left village districts out of the wording. Gee, I wonder how that happens. But we could get money from our county.
But we can't. If village districts aren't
No. So they were saying in that email that village districts can apply through your county. We just won't be automatically eligible like the town of Madison will be.
Okay. And that's money for what? For
Water systems and any COVID related. So I'm going to look into that, see if we can get any money in that direction as well.
okay.
Any
Okay.
COVID-related what?
Expenses that the district may have incurred. For example, this same program, Gophers, came out in the early spring when COVID first hit, and the town of Madison got $68,000 for COVID-related.
But we really didn't.
They
Did we
have
have any?
school and everything.
Yeah,
Well,
they have this,
Yeah.
So I asked, what were some of those items, and there was a lot of little construction projects that took place, and they were deemed COVID-related, so that's how they got the money. Your bathroom. Sanitary,
Yeah. Okay. Well, I suppose
Sanitary.
our bathroom.
right?
Yeah.
Need to make it sanitary.
Well, if you don't mind following up on it, if we can get
I'll look
reimbursed.
into it.
Okay. All right.
I'll look into it.
Okay.
All right. Okay, I'm gonna go to public comments. Dinah?
Does the water committee have anything to report about the asset management grant and so
Yeah,
forth?
we actually met this morning up at the lodge.
Do.
Yeah.
Full of
You're
dead-
right.
Full of dead flies.
Yeah, the cobwebs and the spiders crawling up my leg, but that was all right.
Asked about.
So we are finalizing the RFP. I think we've got it. We're just waiting for the final draft from Larry Sedano. He took all the notes. And we ought to be able to get this out to bidders, potential bidders, and hopefully get some feedback. And what I'm going to do in the meantime.
Can you give us? I know this is going to be challenging. A very brief summary
Yeah.
of what we're going to do with that $40,000.
Oh, what to do with the
Well,
40,000?
and that's what that is. That's telling the engineer
Right.
what we expect, what that deliverable should be.
There are 5 deliverables which are required by DES. The first one is a list of the assets, and then those assets mapped onto a GIS platform. Under each asset will be, if you click on it, you're going to dig into more information about its age, more information about its condition, more information about its replacement costs and its replacement time.
Excuse me, when you say assets, is that our pump houses? Is that our pipes? Is
Pump
that
houses,
our
valves.
Isolation valves,
Yep.
shut-off valves,
Yep.
curb-stop valves?
Yeah, I've already gleaned from the asset management binder and the master plan a list of all of our assets. The SCADA system is an asset. All the stuff that you guys put together. Everything's going to be handed over to whatever firm we choose to decide. A couple of things we're going to do prior to that is to ask each of the firms for an example of a town that they may have done previously and show us what you did for them. So we'll get an insight as to what they're going to give us. And then secondly, the 40,000 will basically be to establish that baseline data so that every time we do an update, and this is really the key, every time we do a water hookup installation at the new home, it gets put onto the map.
By who?
The
That's going to
engineer.
be the question. Who owns the database? Well, of course, Idlewest will own it. But like we also own the hydro model with fluid engineering. We still own that. We still use that. But we can't run that because we don't have the technology in the office or right now the manpower. So do we have fluid engineering do our updates for us? Do we hire another engineering firm? These are all questions that need to be settled. Once we get this database in place, it's got to be maintained, or else it's like buying a new car,
Yep.
and as soon as it runs out of gas, you just leave it on the
It's
side
like
of
the
the road.
map on the wall in the office from 1980.
Yeah.
Yeah, I get it.
Yeah.
Okay, all right. And I think, what DES definitely wants is he wants it out of the hands of the district. He wants it to
It
be a
wants to
third
be
party.
done out of the hands of the
Yeah.
district.
Yeah, so whether it be the engineers that are doing it for us to begin with, or if it falls back to
Yeah.
Dubois and King,
Yeah.
we get to decide that afterwards. Okay, all right,
And we
okay.
get to decide who's going to maintain the database.
Well, the office will forward the information, but an engineer will be actually putting the asset issue or the asset change or the update on the mapping system. We won't be doing it.
For example, let's say, I'll give you an example, a new water hookup, 18 Adelbook. So one, you're gonna put a dot on the map, and then when you click on that dot, there's gonna be several layers of information. You installed the curb stop valve on this date, brand new, and what brand it was. The pressure at that location at the time of the hookup.
How is this all coming from Ian?
Not Ian, no, that'd be from.
Ian puts it in.
Well,
Yeah, Ian puts it in, but the pressure would be obviously determined by Dubois and King with a hydro model. The device that he's using, the curb stop valve, all that information would come from Ian.
the GPS location of it and all that, so.
GPS.
Ian's
that-
notoriously hard to get information from.
Yeah. So the GPS location.
What time do you have to leave?
I
John?
have to,
Oh, I'm sorry.
I have to leave, I'm
Okay,
sorry.
all right.
I
Okay,
had-
Close.
we're almost done.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm
Yep.
sorry, I,
Good. I know you had a prior engagement,
Already
so.
working overtime.
yes, I know, but I,
And she has an appointment anyway, so she had a prior commitment.
Okay, so,
Okay, I was just asking,
Yep.
I was just curious, so.
Thank you.
If we're spending
All
all
right.
that money, what we're gonna get for it at the end, so then I
I
knew.
think that would be good to know.
Yes.
anything else, Dinah?
Well, these signature cards, why don't I just bring them to the next meeting?
Yeah, that's what I was gonna go to
Okay,
next.
they
Do
don't
you
sound
wanna have a meeting on Thursday? I
Well,
think
if there's
we're
nothing, if we're not gonna have a manifest and we're not gonna have
It can wait till. we-
okay, all right, okay.
This will be okay.
So we're gonna, Donna, we're gonna skip Thursday.
Oh, okay.
No meeting Thursday.
Now I'll give everybody a day to catch up. Okay, all right.
Thank you.
So, all right, so JB makes a motion to cancel Thursday meeting. KK seconds, passes.
Diner and 10/3.
Yeah, 4-0, okay. All right, just want to make sure that we have that on record, that we are going to
Okay,
cancel
I'll
that.
vote in favor of that.
Okay,
Right.
yep, we got that.
And
Okay.
I knew that some of the stuff we had on the agenda earlier in this meeting, I didn't realize it was going to take as long as it did, which is why I thought it'd be prudent to have a meeting today, also to address some of the legal stuff. But it did take a lot longer than I thought. I can't believe we've been here for.
I know, 2.5 hours.
Yep,
No, only an hour and a half.
it's not bad, but
Yeah, it's not bad.
All right, so the legal things just in general.
Yeah.
The 2 letters that we got this week, you responded to. So there's
Right.
no real issue there that has to go to the attorney.
I didn't want to respond unless I had the approval from the board. That was the whole thing.
Okay, all right, which is fine. So I think that that's done. Okay. All right, so I don't think there's anything on here.
And we
The
had
next
we had the
meeting's-
non-public to respond to very quickly
Yep.
as well.
Yep. Okay. So we got
Did
them.
you say she? Have you got somebody?
If we shut up,
Have you got somebody?
yes, making an offer.
Yep.
Good.
Yep.
Have to do that before she can open?
Oh, I was going to.
And she made a counter offer, so we have to counter her counter offer.
Yeah, I was going to ask you, assistant treasurer, or is it deputy treasurer or assistant?
The deputy.
Deputy. Have you?
I've decided not to do it yet.
Oh,
I was just coming upon so much resistance and double talk that I decided to forget it.
Okay.
Oh.
All right. Trying to think if there's anything else. Oh, there's Maverick. I think that's all I have. So the next meeting will be August the.
So we'll skip the 5th, it'll be on the
12th.
12th, yep. So do we need
August
any?
what?
August 12th.
12th.
Thank you.
Now, do we need to get together at all prior to the public hearing, or do you think we've got it, you're dialed in as to what you want to present? We don't need a PowerPoint and overhead, I don't know if we need handouts.
Jay, since
Yeah.
you make phone calls after meeting, would you call me when the water part's over and I'll come down for the rest of it?
Yeah, yeah.
Not the water part, the damn.
The damn part,
Yeah.
yeah.
No, I think it'd be handy to have the current policy
Okay,
and to have current and proposed on the same page, if we can do that.
front and back, okay.
Thank you, Donna.
Okay, you could do that front and back, okay, all right.
I can do that. And then, so there's 3 policies, or 2 ordinances of policy that we need to talk about. So we'll do
So
that
we'll
on
have to-
Thursday.
Yeah, we'll have to get that, decide what we're gonna present, as far as
Right.
who's gonna make copies of what, and how many copies, and all that other stuff. I don't think it's gonna be very well attended, unfortunately, because it's at 7 o'clock on Saturday night.
Right.
But, so do you have that down, Tim, that?
Oh, no, I'm sorry, I was.
No, that's okay.
writing
So
numbers.
our public hearing,
Oh, yes, I have that, August
14?
14th at 7 PM.
7 PM,
Right.
okay, yeah,
Gotcha.
yeah. We want to do it-
That's here, right?
yeah, we want to do it at 10 a.m., right? And we might change it to 7 p.m.?
7 PM,
Okay.
because he couldn't make the,
Also, that you want to keep the 7 PM.
We have to. We wanted to do 10 a.m., but he,
That would have been nice.
Yeah.
I know, we all thought it would be a better
Oh, okay.
time for everybody, but he
Yeah.
couldn't make it, so.
Yeah, sure. Okay.
Okay. All right, public hearing, materials. Okay. Okay. So, all right, I think we're pretty much covered what we need to discuss.
okay. Yeah, I don't have anything else. I hope nothing else comes up.
I mean, if it does, we can always have
Yeah,
have an
have another
emergency
meeting.
meeting if we need to,
Yep.
but I think so. I just want to give Donna some time to get caught up, so,
Okay.
okay. All right.
All right, I'll make a
So I'll call
motion.
Ian about the locks. What else was I supposed to do?
And Ian's not coming this week either, so he'll be at the meeting on the 12th as well.
Okay, all right. So, and I'll give you your booking page on those, the registry of deeds stuff.
Anybody watching this video, make sure you go to all the events at Madison Old Home Week. They're
That's
fun,
right.
actually.
We're going to be there filming.
There you go,
Yep.
Adjourn at
2:40.
2:40, AK seconds. Passes 2-0. Okay.
Thank you, Joe.
All right.